Hello, welcome home to Hybrid House Studio. My name is Caleb and I'll be your host today. And today we are going to be doing an unboxing of the Anycubic Kobra X. So I hope you'll join me with this and let's have fun. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and it looks like I've got a couple of viewers right now. Hey RJ, how you doing? Hope everything's been going well this morning. Alrighty, so I've already started unboxing this machine here just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and show it off. And I've already gone ahead and opened it up. So let's take a look at what we got inside. Alright, lots of foam. We always have foam. We have the Anycubic build plate. Get this in here. It's nice and easy, double-sided PEI. All right, we got our PTFE tubes for the filament into their head and roller. Alrighty. So we got some folks joining us. Glad to see that you guys are here. All right, just going to keep going with this unboxing here. I know I'm going a little quick, but that's okay because we got two of these to unbox actually. So even if you missed the first one, there is another one. All right, so now we have the gantry and the tool head. Take and show this here. This thing's actually pretty heavy. Set this to the side. All right. Power cord. Everybody likes power cord. Everybody likes power. Let's see. We've got the filament spool holders that mount on the top of the gantry there. Let's get these out of the box. Show these off. These are actually pretty neat. They put it to where you can put it across the top part of the gantry, and your filament goes into, your PTFE tube goes into these here at the top. Set those to the side. All right, looks like we have the bed covers for once you have the heat bed down. Lots more foam. Everybody loves foam. Protects our stuff. All right. Now we have our tool kit with our assembly screws. We've got a cleaning brush, our filament sample, and a nozzle cleaner, and some lubricant. Nice little maintenance kit. All right. Hey, we finally found our user manual. This will tell us how to actually put this thing together, right? Or do we just wing it? What do we think? All right, now I'm at, what is this? This is our little ejector poop chute thing for when we're doing a flush from changing colors or materials. Ooh, now we have the bed. Let's see, how heavy is this? It's not heavy at all. And we're finally unboxed. All right. Let's get this out the way. Now we can start assembling this thing. Absolutely, definitely always follow the manual, right? All right, so looks like I forgot to grab something. So we are just going to cut these open with a nice razor blade. Do be careful if you ever use a razor blade. You don't want to break things. All right. Bottom part is open. Let's get all the foam and straps off. Gergman, you want me to YOLO build this thing? Is that what you're saying? I mean, it's not exactly rocket science to put one of these things together, that's for sure. You know, the only thing I'll do is double check to make sure I don't miss anything. And yeah, we'll YOLO it. How about that? All right. Looks like we had some stuff here. Lots of tape. Tape everywhere. Let's see. What do we got? Let's explore. Yeah. Access panel to see our bed belt there. Oh, bed slides real nice. Ooh. Let's see. See the belt in the front. Let's see. Let's see if I can show this off here. Let's see. Can we see that? Yeah. So that's one of the access covers removed. So it shows the belt bed. The bed belt to the bed. Oh, what is this? What's this thing around the front? Oh, that's our tensioner screw. Okay. So the tensioner screw for the bed belt to the bed is on the very front. Let's see. Can we get that in there? There we go. Look at that. All right. So this thing's assembled pretty nicely. Oh, we got some cable ties underneath. This goes to the gantry. All right. Belts. Okay, bed's on there. I've been seeing some complaints about the bed not being all the way on and wobbly. Yeah, all right. So, let's get started on actually putting this thing together so that way we can have some prints going while we're waiting. And then I'll take a look at the second one and we'll see, because I'm actually still curious about this machine's Z stepper motor, because I have the Anycubic Kobra 3, and I've been experiencing a lot of gantry drift, I guess is the best way to say it. The gantry just falls on me as it goes up and then just comes back down, which is not good because then it messes up your prints. I've had it already knock off a couple of prints, so never a good thing if that happens. Let's see, best way to cut this open. There we go. There we go. So, what all do we have going on? How's everybody doing today? RJ, how you doing? You doing all right? I know we got some lovely delay here, and one thing I'm surprised about is my cat hasn't joined us yet. However, she is over here walking around, checking out all the boxes and foam that I've thrown on the floor. Anybody else have a pet out there? I know, RJ, you have a little dog, right? How's your little puppy doing today? Let's see. Yeah, kitty, yeah. She's having fun over here just checking everything out. Last night, she was being an absolute terror. She kept ambushing me and just running around the house. It's all kinds of fun. She is my little menace. Oh, I think she's going to join me. She's thinking about it. Oh, there we go. She's on camera now. Say hello to Mika. This is my youngest here. She's just going to check everything out, explore. She never helps. She's always a menace. But she's fun. And she's the biggest love, too. Oh, you're driving? Well, be careful, sir. I don't want you to get hurt. Don't get in trouble. Especially now with the Florida laws and stuff. Don't know where you're at. But if you are in Florida, don't get caught. All right. Let's see. So I've got the gantry now installed onto the bed. And this is not a great camera. Let me grab that camera. Slide it forward some. All right. So the gantry here is your Z, and your X is where your tool head is here, and then your Y is the bed. So as the bed goes in and out, that's how your Y comes in. So if you didn't know that, well, hopefully that helps you out. Nice little education piece. Mad Dog, welcome in, welcome in. How you doing, sir? Gergman, you got a silver tabby? Is that what you're saying? Alrighty, so hello. As you can see, she's being curious now to what all I'm doing. Nope, you can't have that. Alright, let's see. We got some, looks like M5 bolts here, and I'm assuming these go inside the gantry with a lovely Allen wrench. Yep. Oh, mine looks like a silver tabby. Honestly, I have no idea what she is. She is a rescue that showed up on Thanksgiving 2 years ago. And I took her last year in February. So she was a lovely little rescue. Where we've got cats, dogs, fish, guinea pigs, a zoo. I've only got the two cats and a fish. Used to have a zoo. Like literally, we had horses and pigs and hedgehog and parrots. Looks like I've ran into a little bit of an issue. I missed a step. Looks like I need to undo the gantry first before I can finish this because it gets in the way. So let's go ahead and do that. Get the right one here. Yeah, definitely don't text while driving. Oh, it's connected through your car. Oh, nice. And here in South Florida. Awesome, awesome. I am up here in Northwest Florida. So what does that make us? Florida man? Are we brothers? How does that work? So Gergman, how many dogs do you have? How many cats? You say you got quite a few animals. And I know this is always fun taking stuff off, watching somebody do this. You know, hopefully I don't make any mistakes today. And hopefully we don't have any issues with setup. So far this is actually pretty easy. Lots of screws though. Now, what is really interesting about this Kobra X machine is inside this tool head here, there is kind of like a clutch system, right? It's got a gear in here that, depending on which filament you're using, whether you're using line 1, 2, 3, or 4, the gear inside there will activate these little actuators, and it just pulls the filament through. So there's no need for like an external multi-material unit because it's built into the head. So this is actually a pretty innovative new budget printer at $299, and you know, from my experience from the Kobra 3, it does really, really well. I've got 1,200 hours on that Kobra 3, so it's been fairly reliable, except for some of the issues that I'm currently having now, like the gantry drifting. And what I mean by the gantry drift is that when it comes up and it just lets go and it falls. So it falls about 1/2 inch. Gergman, you've got 5 cats and 2 dogs. Wow, that is quite a few cats, sir. Were they all acquired, or did they have birth, or how did you get all those? You told your wife, however many pets she has, I will have twice as many printers. Gergman, that's a very expensive. What is that? What do you call that? I can't even think of what you call that. It's not even ultimatum, but man, that's mean. Oh, all rescues except for the 1 dog. That's awesome. I think rescuing pets is the better way to go, especially for cats and dogs, because there's so many out there that are strays, or they're at the shelter, you know, and just dogs can be amazing, especially after you've gotten them from like the pound or as a stray. Like, they end up loving you more, I think, than if you bought one as a puppy and brought it home, right? You know, I don't know if that's everybody's experience, but that's been the experience that I've had. You know, and then same for the cats. Cats too. Like, get it from the shelter, get it from the stray. You know, feral cats, when a lot of times when they're brought inside, they just end up loving you more. You know, like my little one. Oh, she threw a tantrum on me, last month. And by tantrum, I literally mean a tantrum. And it was because I had stayed out for so long, and then like I was late feeding her breakfast and dinner. And when I got back to finally be able to to go to sleep, I came in, had fed her, showered, and then she was absolutely tearing everything up. Like, she was jumping on my curtains. She was attacking my leg. She was very mad. And you could absolutely tell that she was mad. And so then I finally got some sleep. And then when I woke up, like, I didn't even get to toss the covers off or anything. I was just coming out of it, and she dive bombs me and just starts rubbing all over me, just apologizing, like, oh, I'm sorry, Dad, I did all that. And so, yeah, she's something else. Agreed, we only got the 1 dog from a breeder because a friend had good experience. Mini Australian Shepherd. Those are nice dogs. And yes, they do have that kind of personality there, Gergman. Absolutely. My family was we do a lot of dog grooming, and you know, so I've been experienced with a whole different bunch of breeds of animals, so you can tell all the different personalities like each breed has. They do have stereotypes, like the Australian Shepherds, your German Shepherds, your Dobermans. Like, everybody, all the animals have a stereotype, which is fun. Okay, so the gantry is now installed. I didn't install the little covers here, so let's do that. This is the right cover. Let's see. I'm assuming it goes that way. There we go. Yep. That was it. Nope. Nope. Do I break it? Nope. Do I need to get a hammer? Nope, no hammer. Okay. It goes straight down. Nope, doesn't go straight down. You know what? If I can get it back out, we don't need this. I can't get it back out. I think I might be in trouble now. Because if I can't get it back out... Hey, good morning, Down Under. How you doing today? Thank you for joining. Welcome to the stream. We're just doing a unboxing and assembling of a Kobra X here. And of course I can't seem to... Oh, that's how it goes. Okay. You have to drop it in and then it just slides in. And that is the wrong side. The right side is a shorter piece. So it goes in, goes straight down, and then slides forward. Okay, that's actually pretty nice. That's a nice cover. So far, this build's been super easy. We're not even 20 minutes into this from unboxing to almost powering this thing on. We just got a couple more parts to go, and what I'm going to print is the PEBA or PEBA material. It's a very soft, flexible material, lightweight, has a good bounce on it. And the reason for that is this machine is supposed to be able to auto switch the soft materials along with the hard materials. So we're going to put that to the test. And I've got 4 rolls of PEBA. So I'm going to print out some mini spools. And the mini spools I keep as like a filament swatch. It tells me, you know, which ones I've printed, what they look like after they're printing, just a couple of different things, right? Phil, I don't know why you're awake at 5:20 a.m., sir, but I do appreciate you being here very much. And good morning. It's Easter Sunday and your kids want eggs? Oh, it is Easter Sunday, isn't there? Because you're in Australia, right? I do not have a dry box for each spool, no. However, before the live stream today, I did have it in my dehydrator, so we should be okay. Yes, if you didn't know, a lot of your filaments, like TPU and PLA and the PETG, they all they're all hydroscopic, meaning they absorb moisture from the air. So you want to keep them as dry as possible, because otherwise you're going to have issues printing. Like, it won't have good bed adhesion. You're not going to have a good layer adhesion. You know, there's quite a few reasons to make sure that the filament is as dry as possible. It's beneficial to your print. Alrighty, so I'm looking at the wiring diagram here, and let's show this on the stream here, because we have kitty butt. So you can see here on the bottom that they've included a nice little pre-wire here, and then the wiring harness has color-coded and size to match what is underneath this bottom here for all the electronics for what I'm assuming is our hot end heater and thermistor. I'm assuming one of these is going to be the stepper motor, and I'm not sure what the other one is for. Maybe, oh, it's going to be for the camera. There we go. That's what it's going to be for. That's what it's going to be for. PEBA goes off while printing. Not sure what you mean by that one, Phil. What do you mean it goes off while printing? All right, looks like I should run these through here, and I don't know exactly how much I should hide underneath, so let's raise this up some to the top here. There we go. That way I know exactly how much I can pull in and leave slack. Let's see. We've got, oh, it might help if I turn this right side around. Let's see. There's the yellow. This is not easy when you have fat fingers. When you got big old hands and fat fingers, this is not easy in this tight little space here. All right, there's one. Let's see. Looks like that one goes there. Yep. And then our last one goes over there. Oh yeah, this is really intuitive. So like I haven't, if you haven't noticed, I haven't even touched the assembly manual here yet. And, you know, I'm able to assemble this pretty easy. It's very intuitive. So definitely won't have any issues there for anybody. Let's see, what do you say? It sucks up water so fast you gotta print it from dryer. Ah, I didn't know that. That's not gonna be fun then. Well, the community actually already has a couple of mods for this machine, and one of those mods is a top-mounted dry box that's 3D printed, and I did see that, so I might have to invest in the printing that out, right? It's just quite a bit of printing time, and then there is also a PTFE pneumatic quick connectors that are required in order for the PTFE tube and your filament to work. Let's see. All right, looks like I got the wiring in here. All done. All right. So, you know, we're talking about the filament and needing a dry box. If you guys weren't aware, you know, April 1st was this week, and one of the printer companies had put out a little video for their, what looked to be a dry box. And they called it the ACU, or air conditioning unit, and Pro. And one of the things that they did in the video is they said that the unit has a submerge mode. So in the video, they had somebody take and fill that little dry box looking device full of water and then slapped a spool of filament just right into it, just blam, and splashed everywhere and everything. So it looked all kinds of fun. Absolutely had a blast. Of course, everybody does some kind of like food type filament. I know a lot of folks kind of tired of those. You know, it was my first year. Since I'm new to 3D printing and everything. So I thought it was hilarious that someone had put out a video saying that they had a pizza filament, and you needed to print it in an enclosure at 90 degrees Celsius, so that way the yeast in the filament would make the dough rise. So if you know anything about 3D printing, yeah, all of that, it was just absolute hilarity. Alrighty. So this is the filament spool rack. These are just nice, easy twist on, twist off. It's just a guide to kind of keep the spool on here. You feed your filament through this hole, which will go into your PTFE tube. Which, again, I'm new to that, so I don't know exactly what PTFE stands for, so I do apologize. So this is your spool holder, and it does have a spot where it has to live, which is here on the right-hand side. This is for lines 1 and 2, and it's supposed to have a click spot. Ah, there we go. Oh, that's tight on there. That's really tight on there. Alrighty, so this one is 3 and 4. Now you know why you had an alarm. There's a message from Mrs. Maker to do the kids hunting eggs before they wake up. Oh no. Did you 3D print any Easter eggs in order for the kids to hunt them? I seen that there was some designs out there for thermoformed Easter eggs. So I was just curious if you maybe printed out some of those and made up some. I thought that was pretty neat because they were pretty good size too. They could hold quite a bit of candy and toys, or if you give kids cash while they're hunting for it, you've got that. Alrighty, we are nearing the end of this, and I still have yet to actually touch the user manual here. But we need to get this little poop chute installed. And what this does is that when your filament swaps, you'll see the magnetic piece here on the tool head. It'll grab this and kind of pulls it back. As it scrapes across, it'll spring forward, and it shoots the little filament waste off to the side. Now, I do have a 3D printed part for this as a deflector. So let's get that installed. We'll get this installed here. Let's see. Looks like it just slides onto this little dovetail. Yep. And we have a specific screw here. It's not your fine thread like the other metric pieces. This one is a coarse thread screw that is specific for this particular part because it is plastic. And fine threads, if you didn't know, don't bite very well into plastic. So you need coarse threads. And I see our the Menace has decided to be in front and show off. Oh, she's not on camera though. Do we want to have the Menace on camera? If you want to have the Menace on camera, just throw a bunch of the little YouTube pink hands in the chat there. And I'll move the camera so that way she's in it. Because I know people like pets. I like pets. Alrighty, so now as I said, once this is done, I'm just going to print out just some quick little easy, on the Kobra 3, it's a 5-minute print, or excuse me, a 58-minute print. And that is because of the filament change times that are required. So I'm hoping that with this particular machine, the change times are actually shortened. And it looks like I could probably shorten these PTFE tubes, but we'll leave it for now. Leave them all nice and tall. It's always fun to have these things flop around as it prints and runs all over the place. Alrighty, so number 3, and then number 4. Alright, so I know this looks like a gaggle of mess here. And, oh, okay, they did include a organizer, so that way we can keep these PTFE tubes nice and better organized here. It's just a little plastic star. I know that you can print them out in with your printer and make different ones. So we're gonna just hook this in here like so. Let's see, we are not on the screen. All right, let's see if I can get it further in there. So all I'm doing is just connecting this here. That way you can see it. And then this wire here is gonna dangle everywhere. Let's see. Let's see if we can put this into a tube here. Let's do it like that. And let's put that there. That way it keeps it a little bit more coordinated. Okay. We are close to firing this bad boy up. Who's ready? Raise your hand if you're ready. All right. Okay. All right, let's see. Power cord. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Turn this back around so everybody can see it. Back it up some. Oh, we got glare. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's much better. Let's see. Hey, Nemesis, thank you for joining. I appreciate you coming into the live here. And we're 35 minutes into the live. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, go ahead and do so now while I plug this thing in and get it fired up for the first time. All right. We are plugged in. All the screws are loose. Everything works here. Let's see. Camera's off. Let's fire it up. And she's turned it on. Let's see. Who's got manuals? How thorough is the manual? I don't know. We can definitely take a look. Oh, it sings. Let's see. That dog. Oh, we got a hand raise here for from Down Under Maker. Is that the hand raise to see the cat, or is that the hand raise to you got a question? Let's see. Do we need to look at the manual? This thing's already fired up and ready to go here. All right, let's see. We want English and global. Looks like it's doing a Wi-Fi scan. Ooh, we get the satisfaction peel here. Oh, yes. All right. Well, looks like it wants some Wi-Fi, so I can't disclose that on camera here. All right, we've got to hide it. Can't see it. Sorry. It's private. You know how it goes. Let's see. This is actually pretty nice because the Kobra 3, you actually have to scan it with your phone in order to connect to the Wi-Fi, which honestly, that's not, very intuitive that you need to have a phone in order to get it done. So being able to key this in is actually pretty nice, except for they're missing a symbol. Oh, never mind. There it is. Found it. They hid it. And my little one here is back at it again, as you can see. All right. It says Wi-Fi connecting. We already have the app. And it says there is a security clearance, and it's just telling you to make sure that you have removed the shipping plastic here so that you don't damage the machine while it does the startup sequence, which it's going to calibrate the bed, it's going to calibrate the tool head. See, kind tips. The device calibration is about to begin, and the resonance frequency will be detected. So this thing is going to shake, rattle, and roll. Let's see how bad this works. That's pretty quiet. I don't think I can get close enough to have you hear the fan running. But that fan is on, and it's actually a lot quieter than the Kobra 3 V2. That thing's actually pretty loud. Let's see. RJ, you got a few screws loose? You said to raise your hands. Yeah, but you're driving, sir. Don't do that. That's not good. Oh, let's see. Nemesis, live dangerously, go with Mandarin. What is that? I don't know what Mandarin is. What are you referring to, sir? Please let me know. Let's see. I know I removed it earlier, and it looks like I forgot where the access panel. I've lost my access panel. Oh no! Let's see. What's it doing? The equipment calibration. Looks like it's heating the bed. Let's see. Are we hot yet? It's getting a little toasty, a little warm, not too hot. Alrighty. So now we're just sitting here waiting while this thing is getting all warmed up and everything. Let's go ahead and take a look at the user manual, see if I forgot something. Alrighty. Products at a glance. It's just going over how it works. Let's see. Shows everything that we have. Installing the gantry frame, which we did. Looks like we didn't miss anything there. Yep. Unlock the Z-axis. Looks like I did the wiring properly, so that's awesome. Let's see. The purge wipers installed correctly. You know what? Let's see. So it's telling you, at the bottom here at the, let's see, can't zoom in on that. Oh, let's stand up here. There we go. So at the bottom of it, you can see there the wiring diagram. For whatever reason, I put it in there correctly. It was it was very intuitive. Definitely not hard. So if you're like most of us who hate manuals, this was very easy to put together without a manual. Let's see. Okay, we got the PTFE tubes installed. All right, it is doing the calibration now. All right, so the next thing is just to wait for the filament to load. All right, so while it's doing all of this calibration and everything, we can take a look at the second machine that I have. One of the things that I wanted to look at is the stepper motor that's in here. So when I was looking at it here, pulling it out of the box and stuff, this stepper motor doesn't look like the same stepper motor that Anycubic used in the Kobra 3. And I was curious if they had actually fixed that, because if you weren't here earlier in the stream, I have the Kobra 3 where the gantry it drifts and belt's nice and tight. Like I've taken it apart and redid it, tightened it back up, screwed it back down, and I'm just not entirely sure what the issue is. So I've been trying to fix that. Oh, we almost. Wow, 26%. So if you guys are as curious as I am, if the stepper motor in here is different than the original or the previous generations, I do have another machine. We can always open that one up and take a look at that gantry and pop this bottom foot off, so that way we can get a closer look. But other than that, we're kind of at just a little bit of a hangout phase now, so going to move this to just chatting while we're sitting here waiting on this machine. And if you'll notice above me, I actually have some hot sauces here from our good pal Pex Peppers. He was kind enough to send an extra one for me. I had ordered it as bundle. And they're ghost pepper sauces. There's a chili sauce. This pineapple sauce is a Carolina Reaper sauce. And what's really nice is this thing came in a 3D print. So, everybody sees 3D prints for toys. Everybody thinks that 3D printing isn't, all that great, mainly here in the United States and in the area that I'm at. But 3D prints can be useful. Like, who would have thought you could put hot sauces with a 3D print? Alrighty. So, what all is everybody up to today? Who all is out and about? Who's going to be who's printing what? Anybody got anything special going on this weekend? I know that we have Easter weekend going. I myself don't have anything special. So that is, life. That's how it goes. Scan rate in that camera isn't set to 60 hertz. Yeah, I don't think it is. I'm not sure why it's doing those lines on this computer. I took it from my main desktop, and it doesn't do those lines. So it seems to be just this machine that it's doing that with, unfortunately. Let's see. Nemesis. You only got an eye in there. Are you doing something this weekend? What do you got going on, sir? Or ma'am? This thing is taking quite a bit of time to load. It's at 40%. The bed is hot. The tool head fan is now off. So we're just sitting here waiting. Splitting wood and getting ready for the winter. Yeah. You're good time to start. I don't know where you are in the world. Hopefully it doesn't get too crazy cold in the wintertime, so you don't have to use a whole lot of wood. Nemesis. I'm printing the mini storage rack for the mini totes. I did an oil change on the beast in the driveway yesterday. Maybe after stream I'll swap a hot end out. You're going to swap a hot end out on what printer? What are you swapping out there? And the mini totes, is that the mini totes that Uncle Jesse had on his YouTube and was showing off out there on, I think, Printables? Those, if that's the one that you're talking about, those are actually pretty cool. I did print those out for as a Christmas gift for our company Christmas. Alrighty. So I've already thought of a couple of mods that are for this machine. One, I've got the little poop deflector that goes onto the purge wiper here. Somebody also designed a side mount for the spools here, and what it does is it clips into the back portion of the gantry. And let's see if I can get the camera here. So this gantry piece here has these holes in it, and somebody designed an LED bar that slides into the front, and then they have these side mount spools that slides in the back, so you can have a nice little LED bar across the front to illuminate what is being printed on the print head or on the bed, so that way the AI detection on here works a little bit better. And then for the side spool mount, it moves it back here to the back, so you end up getting more room out of your machine. Now, as Down Under was saying earlier that need a dry box in order to print the PEBA material, the mod that I was discussing earlier is one that sits up here on top, and your filaments just sit within it. So one of the filaments that I've got here today that we're going to be printing, I've actually got 3 different brands. I've got 2 rolls from SaneSmart, and then a roll from Amylin. So Amylin, just black. We've got the SaneSmart black. Get that in there. And then this one here is actually pretty interesting. This one is the Shimmer Fill PEBA, and their spool is kind of interesting. Most spools have like wording on it, so and I can't show that off. It tells you like what settings you should print it at. So like this one says print temperatures between 220 and 250 Celsius with a bed temperature 40 to 60 degrees. So it's pretty much kind of like the same TPU settings. Actually, I think this is supposed to be hotter than TPU. And then I have a magenta. Everybody likes pretty colors. Ain't that a great looking magenta? And let's see. Mad Dog, you're down in Southeast Australia, Victoria. I am geographically inept about Australia, so I do apologize. Nemesis, you're swapping out a bamboo hot end to a TZV6 with a 60 watt heater on your Micron that uses an ant head tool head. I'm not familiar with the TZV6. Is that a brand of hot end? And a 60 watt heater, so you're going to be printing out some pretty good stuff with that. What does that get to, like 400 degrees Celsius? And wow, the resonance compensation just ran. That was really quiet, and this little desk didn't vibrate hardly at all. Let's see. Oh, looks like I need to get the printer back in camera here. Let's see. There we go. Now we're back in view. Oh, now it looks like it's doing the auto leveling. Oh, it's doing a wipe? Okay. That was interesting because as it's sitting there wiping that nozzle, when you've seen it going back and forth like that, it is running across that silicone little mat, and I was watching the bed back here just flex. It was just dipping, right? It was just burp, burp as it was going across. I wonder if it was, oh, whoa. Interesting startup sequence. Sorry, I'm getting memorized by this machine. It's always fun unboxing and starting up a new product. Style of hot end, you think the max is 300 degrees Celsius? Oh, okay, so you're not trying to print any engineering materials, anything with that particular hot end. Let's see. This thing is still going. Now, Anycubic had said that their auto level calibration on this machine was actually supposed to be quicker, and it had more points. And if you can see it on the camera, what it's doing is it's going up and down, and it's tapping on the bed to detect its height. And the way it does that is, I believe, there's a load cell resistor in here. So as it pushes on it, it generates an electrical current, which goes back into the system, and it says, oh, we've touched something. And depending on that amount of current is, I'm assuming, how it detected the bed. So you don't print engineering materials out on your Micron, just you have other printers for that? Okay. So do you, with your Micron, is that the smaller bed, like the 180, or is it a larger bed? And I'm always curious, do you take it with you since it's so small and take it to like your shows or conventions or anything like that? Do you travel with it? Because I think having a micron to travel with would be actually pretty cool, because then you can show people like 3D printing and how neat, how fun it is, and it can be mesmerizing when it's printing. So hopefully here shortly we can actually show that off. All right. Says we're about 80% and we're still doing the bed leveling. Now, this machine is a $299. It is a budget machine. So you're not going to be doing more of your exotic materials with it. Anycubic did say that we could do glass fiber and carbon fiber materials, where its previous generation, the Kobra 3v2, it only came with a brass nozzle, and you can't print carbon fiber or glass filled materials with a brass nozzle, because it'll just eat through it, right? It'll just wear it out way too fast. So Anycubic didn't offer the Kobra 3v2 with a hardened steel nozzle. Now this Kobra X, it comes from factory with a 0.4 millimeter hardened steel nozzle. So that's why they're saying that, you know, right out of the box you can print with carbon fiber and glass fiber. My micron is a 180 millimeter bed, and yes, it's your show printer. Also always fun when some brings an ender. Yeah, I bet that would be fun. Yeah, because the micron's pretty small. Now, on your micron, since it is a travel, do you have, how's your electronics? Is it underneath, or do you have like the backpack, I think as somebody calls it? Or do you have like inverted? You know, I'm always curious what your setup is. And did you name your micron? What, you know, if you did, what did you name it? Always happy to hear. Big Clive did a video on low cells a couple weeks ago. Gives a really good explanation. Thank you. I'll definitely have to check that out. I'm always looking to learn. I'm always looking to learn new things. So I'll definitely give that video a check out. Down Under Maker says the YouTube keeps lagging. It actually could be me. Down Under, I might not have the best setup here. I'll definitely have to take a look after the stream. Pretty sure it looks okay. And you have a, let's see, Nemesis, you put your electronics underneath, and it's a 1515 frame 2.4. Not sure what that means. Your micron was your first DIY 3D printer, and it's named after me, Nemesis 1. I like that, sir. That is a good one. Hey, John Doe, thanks for coming into the stream here. So what you missed is that we just went through an unboxing and just a first assembly of this machine, and right now it is just doing its first startup calibration check. And as soon as it's done, we're going to print with some PEBA. So glad you could join us, sir. And we were just talking about some DIY printers. Nemesis has his Nemesis 1, which is a micron. Do you have any DIY printers, sir? If you would, if you do, happy to hear from you and share with the class. What is this thing doing? Active noise reduction. Do not touch. Oh. Oh, it got really quiet. So the other thing that's really nice about this generation from the Anycubic is the gantry here is now on a rail system, where the Kobra 3 V2 was on a like a bearing slide, right? It was a concaved bearing that ran on a half moon rod, which it's good for a budget machine, but having this linear rail in here like this, it's a much smoother experience, and it's also a lot easier to maintenance, because for greasing this, you know, I'd probably have to pull off the tool head and then get into this little carriage that's underneath it and squeeze in some grease, right? So far this machine has been really easy. I think it's going to be easy to maintenance as well. I am curious about the top belt up here, how you would maintenance that. So after some print hours, we'll explore the maintenance, and I'll do another review on these machines as like a follow-up update. And John, you're asking if I'm doing a 4-color PEBA. Technically, it's 3 brands, 3 in black, and then the 4th spool here is a magenta. So this is my first time using PEBA and these materials, and also these brands. So this is a whole new experience for myself. If you've used PEBA, definitely throw some tips down in the chat. Happy to hear it. You know, I'm assuming that I'm gonna have to probably set this up with like the Anycubic TPU profile in the slicer, and you know, hopefully it'll print. So we're gonna see. The other thing is, like, I want to know, because it is soft, hopefully it goes through these Teflon tubes, these PTFE tubes, pretty easy. Let's see. Down under maker, don't forget, if you're going to do PEBA, they normally do a test extrude in the factory. You'll want to do a big purge before the actual print. I'm not sure what you mean by that, sir. Are you saying like there's something in the print head that I should remove? And if so, I should probably just do a quick extrusion of maybe some of the PLA or some PETG. And it looks like my camera's starting to fall. Let's see, we get that set back up there. There we go. All right. Let's see, you might have PLA still in there if they did a test. That's a good call out. You know, and I don't know how to open up that print head. Let's see, do we have anything in the manual? Because from what I've seen, the print head, so like when your material runs out and it needs to eject the material from the print head, it comes out these little side slots here. And so, like, let's just say this was down to like the last couple, last meter, and it ran out. Well, it's gonna detect that run out, and it'll cut itself off, and then it ejects the small piece back out this top so you can pull it out. Let's see, John, you said just a push a little bit extra PEBA before printing. Oh, I see what you're saying. RJ, just do a bunch of purges. Nemesis, if I dare disappear. Oh no. Definitely be safe, sir. You have a tornado warning. Yeah, don't stay on here if that's, yeah, that's too dangerous, sir. And Mad Dog, I see what you're saying. Yeah, just run a extruder test through it to make sure it's printing. Okay, now the machine is starting to move this table quite a bit, and it is still going with this first startup here. That's crazy. Okay, it's doing... Why is it doing a circle? What are we still doing? Oh, it's still doing the sound calibration. That's what it's doing. That would be why it's been getting louder and getting quieter. Go to Lamia. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you being here. I know that you were a little bit late, and what's happened is that we've already unboxed the first machine here and got it all set up, and it's going through its first startup and calibration. Something I posed to chat earlier was that I do have a second one here on the floor, and if folks wanted to, if they wanted me to, I would unbox it, and I kind of want to see what the stepper motor in here is, but I'm not that curious because from what I can tell, it definitely looks different from the previous generation, the Kobra 3. Alrighty, we are finally done with our first calibration. All right. So real quick, we are going to turn this into LAN mode so that way I can print on this from the machine here. And I don't have to like get out my phone and scan it because that's never fun. Alrighty, so this is going to take me a little bit to set up this new printer. So give me one moment. Oh, nope, I do have it here. Transfer. And I think I need to get it connected. I don't think it's connected. So give me one moment while I add a printer. Add the printer. We're going to connect by IP, and the IP address was 192.168.1169. Let's see if we find it. Yep, we did. All right, we have it. It is now loaded into the machine. It is loaded into the slicer. So we're going to install our first roll of material, which is the PEBA. So this machine, if I was using Anycubic's filament, they have an RFID tag that you would just scan that RFID here at the front of the machine. It'll recognize it, so that way it knows what type of material, what type of color it is. But these do not have the RFID. So these do. This head is supposed to beep when the filament has been detected on its entry. So let's get this fed in here. All right, that wasn't too terrible feeding this in. It is soft, as you can see. And it's a little tricky to feed this. Let's get this down in there. Little difficult. I would imagine with a stiffer or a harder material like PLA or PETG, this is actually pretty easy. Come on. Is it gonna detect it? No. So I've got it pushed all the way down in there, and it is not detecting that it is not detecting that entry of the filament. Yeah. Interesting. They said that it's supposed to detect that. It's not. So we have an issue already. Let's see. No consumables were detected. Yeah, see, it's not detecting it. So that's not good. We are already starting off with issues here. This was supposed to detect this. Alrighty, so since it doesn't want to detect it, we are going to go ahead and swap to something different, and we can get a nice print going, so that way we have a print on stream. Give me one moment, and I will be right back. I will step away for just a second. All right, I do apologize for that, for having to go get a different filament here. So what I have now is a PLA wood filament. It is a yellow pear wood. This is actually a pretty good one to start with because it is a harder material. As Phil said earlier, down under maker, it would be good to start off with something a little bit harder here. So that was a lot easier to feed into the PTFE tube. Let's get this all the way in there, and let's see if it detects the material this time. No. Ah, there we go. No, it's still not detecting the material. Huh. I could feel it hitting the wheel in there and kind of grinding. That doesn't bode well. This is supposed to be able to accept different materials, and not just Anycubic's materials either. So let's try it in slot 2. We're into the print. Ah, there it goes. It made the beep sound. All right. So we have PLA. We have nice colors now. Let's see. Do we have, what types of materials do we have? We have PLA. We have PLA Plus. We have PETG, ASA, PLA High Speed, PLA Silk, PETG CF, ABS. Oh, look at that. Oh, they even have polycarbonate on here. They have PVA. Oh, wow, look at that. We actually have quite a bit of materials now. PLA Galaxy, Marble. Wow, okay. So since this is PLA wood, we're going to run it under PLA matte. And then, let's see, I would say it's a red color. So let's go ahead and set it to red. We're going to leave it there. All right. Since it worked in 2, let's see if 1 will actually take the soft material now. And I didn't have to push too difficult into 2 in order for the printhead to detect it. So maybe it just doesn't like soft materials. You know, I know I haven't checked to see if there's a firmware update with this, but that's something that we would do off stream. Yeah, sure enough. I can't. Yeah, it doesn't want to accept that in slot 1. I bet you this is what Phil was referring to, that there is a piece of material in there, and I should extrude it out. All right, so this filament holder design is terrible too. Look at that. I had to bend those in order to get this in here. All right, let's try this in 3. Let's see. Super smooth motion. Yeah, actually it was really smooth motion. There was no issues. Like, it doesn't grind. It moves back and forth. It's pretty quiet. And when it was doing the sound calibration, it you could hear it get quieter and louder. It was interesting. Okay, yeah, it doesn't want to accept PEBA. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do a single print with the wood here, so that way we can at least have something printing on this machine and say it's good to go. Alrighty. So let's get this sliced and loaded. Now what I'm loading up is, I was saying it earlier, it's just a simple, plain little filament spool, and I like to print these out as like a sample. So normally when I would print it out, I'd have 4 loaded up, and it would take about 58 minutes to do 4 on the Kobra 3. So that's why I was hoping to have 4 different rolls on this machine, so that way we can see the difference in the material changing and how quickly it flushed, so that way we can have a better baseline as to what to expect. Alrighty, so we are doing this with a textured plate. And a textured plate is just something for the material to really connect and stay with. We're going to do a resonance. Actually, no, we're not. Alrighty. We have our first print started. Oh, it sings to you. Hey. As soon as it went to the printer, it started making a nice little sound. It chimed in. It was like, hey, we got this thing working. That is so cool. Nemesis, you have cows? What kind of cows do you have, sir? Do you have like a farm? Are they pet? Are they show? Well, what do you have, sir? Alrighty. The first print is going on this machine. I'm so excited. This is so nice, man. This is brand new machine. It just came out this year. It was up for pre-order, and they started shipping these at the end of February, beginning of March. So this machine here I bought in January 15th. So this is not a sponsored machine. They didn't send this to me. I paid for this. This is out of my own money. So my reviews on this machine are going to be my own opinion. They are not being influenced by Anycubic at all. Oh, thank you, Nemesis. Movie reference, yeah, I like The Twister. It's a good movie. Is that the movie you're referencing? I hope it is, otherwise I'm going to look foolish. So, I know, John Doe, earlier you said push a little bit of extra PEBA before printing. Yeah, man, this thing, it's not taking that PEBA in there. So, I was really, really hoping that I could just put it in and it would detect it and we're good to go, but it's terrible. Now, the other thing is this machine has a 260 millimeter cubed print area, and that is 260 on your X, 260 on your Y, and 260 on your Z. So in imperial or United States measurements, it's roughly 10 inches cubed. John Doe, you ask, why did I choose this over the Kobra S1 combo? The reason why I picked the Kobra X over the S1 combo is the S1 has a longer cut on the filament. So it went from roughly a 70 millimeter cut down to a 35 millimeter cut. So when it changes materials or it changes colors, I've got, what is that? Roughly a 45% less waste for the changes. And that can be huge, right? So like if you've got a 200 gram flush, right? Now you're cutting it down to like 110 grams or 120 grams. So you're saving a lot more filament on it, but you still do have wastes. And that is an unfortunate piece of that. Now, the other cool advantages to this is this has an automatic automatic runout sensor built in. So if you have the exact same material and color on your top, on your spool top, and let's just say you have like 2 black and then 2 white because you're printing out I don't know, just some like little ghosts or something. Well, when the first white runs out, it will automatically cut and then eject that leftover white filament from the first roll and then just start printing with the second roll, and you don't have to have any kind of intervention or anything. Kobra X is only compatible with PLA, PETG, TPU, PVA, PLA carbon fiber, PETG carbon fiber, ASA, not PEBA. I wouldn't say that this machine shouldn't be able to do PEBA, because it's supposed to be able to do the soft TPU. So it should be able to do a 90A PBA, or PEBA, excuse me. So I don't understand why the machine's not accepting this filament right now. You know, it could be that I have to, you know, find out. Oh, wow, this thing is really, really quiet. And it's running on standard mode. You know what? Let's see if we can turn this thing up to speed and see how fast it gets done. Because normally this is supposed to be a 13-minute print. So, let's see. Where do we change the speed on here? Looks like that one. Yep. Ah, sport mode. Everybody loves sport mode. Let's see how fast it goes. Because the Kobra 3 V2, when you put it into sport mode, it really wasn't that fast. It just got louder. You could watch the timer on the machine, and you change it over to sport mode. It would actually increase the amount of time it would take to finish the print, but then, like at the end of it, it might have saved 10 minutes on a 6-hour print. So it really wasn't that great. Let's see. S1 combo is PLA, PETG, TPU 95A, ABS, ASA. So X does not say 95A. Oh. Well, we'll see if I can get it to work. Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. I could definitely contact Anycubic to see if there is a compatibility. It could be that, you know, it needs a firmware update. You know, this machine was just unboxed and it was just started. So didn't check to see if there was a firmware update or anything. And, you know, hopefully if a firmware update could fix that. You know, it could be just the sensor doesn't see it. You know, I don't know. John Doe says the Anycubic support is pretty good. Well, thank you. I didn't know that. I've got that Kobra 3, and I have not had to contact the support. And, I haven't had too much issues out of it, except for the gantry drift, which I had talked about earlier. And let's see. I don't have a way to show you what this thing is printing, but it looks like we're going pretty good, and it's pretty quick. Let's see. It went from a 13-minute print, changed it over to sport mode, and we're at 7 minutes is what it's saying now. So that's almost cut in half. That's pretty good. I like that. So, you know, if I can get this machine printing the PEBA, I'm going to do some time-lapse videos. I'm going to have this thing print out some of the airless tennis balls. I'm going to see about doing an airless basketball. That's what I had bought this material for. On the airless tennis ball, of course, I want to see how strong that material is, how well the layer adhesion works, and I'm going to give it to one of our family's dogs to see how tough the material lasts as well. Of course, we're going to observe him. We're going to play with him. You know, we're going to make sure he's not hurt or swallowing any material once it's printed. So no concerns there. But every dog likes to play ball, so why not have an airless tennis ball, right? Down Under Maker, are you probing before each print? Yes, sir. So that is the, it is built into the Anycubic in their slicer. And when you start the print, it asks you if you want to do a bed calibration. So it's just a quick, nice, easy little, the bed leveling. It's already checked. So if you try to uncheck it, software actually yells at you that you unchecked it. So it's automatic. Don't give to animal. The dyes aren't safe. Oh, whoa, okay. Thank you so much for letting me know. I definitely will not give it to the animal. Mad Dog, I have to run, so good luck. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, and thank you for coming into the stream. You know, when the next one comes out, or the next one that I do, I'll let everybody know. I hope you come back and enjoy my video, sir. Don't forget to like and subscribe, so that way you'll be notified and you'll see it. And it always helps out the channel as well. I really do appreciate you coming by. All right, so the first print is almost done. And I'm pretty excited for this because this PLA wood is actually new to me. It is a pear wood. So I've been wanting to print this out and get the little filament spool, so that way I have it as a reference. These little filament spools are nice to have because you can take them with you, and that way you're not trying to carry it out like a whole bunch of swatches. The small mini spool, I can carry it around on this little rack, or if I really wanted to like go traveling with it, I can put it onto a string, and I can just show people like, oh, I've got, this color, this material. That way if somebody asks, like, what can you print? And it's also nice to show it because a lot of people are like, they think of 3D printing as the toys. Well, 3D printing doesn't have to be for toys. You can actually print out some functional parts. I know that if you have one of those scanners and let's say one of your appliances break, you can scan that part and reprint it if it's not broken too drastically. You know, so having a 3D printer is something, you know, to me, I consider a 3D printer as a tool. You know, it's not just a toy. Yes, it could be part of your hobby. My hobby is like DIY stuff. So when I was researching a lot of my woodworking tools, and I was seeing people's reviews on YouTube, and that's when 3D printing really came into my perspective of my hobby. And so now I'm creating videos with the woodworking and the DIY and 3D printing, so that way I can showcase like how beneficial this could be versus instead of just printing off Flexi Dragons to sell on Etsy for, you know, $10, $20. Let's see, Nemesis, I print functional parts, clocks, lights, desk organizers, storage items. You also do Dummy 13 kits. So those watching this stream who don't know what Dummy 13 is, it is the action figure that is printable. You print out a skeleton that's got ball joints, and then they've got armor. Nemesis, I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the new Carbon 13 from the original designer? If you haven't, definitely give it a look. It's a little bit, I think it's a bit better of an action figure, printable action figure. And it's definitely something to look into. You know, if you have children who likes action figures, if you have family members, or if you've got friends, or even if you know, I'm assuming you might be selling some of your Dummy 13 kits to folks or giving them out. What is, let's see, you said you print functional parts. Are you talking functional parts like Voron printer parts, or what kind of functional parts do you print, sir? This thing is almost done. I am thoroughly impressed with this, considering that I have the Cobra 3, the previous generation, and having 1,200 hours on that machine. I'm already impressed with this one between its speed and how quiet it is. This thing is crazy quiet. And it's not moving this desk at all. Like, this thing's barely moving. Nemesis says repair parts for things. Oh, cool. I'm assuming you're probably just doing like handles and gears and all that. John Doe, I print 3D printer. I'm guessing it's for Voron parts as well. That's awesome. So 3D CNC. So John, do you have a CNC machine? You mill parts? You know, that'd be pretty neat if you did that. Man. Let's see. We are almost done. Now, I had asked earlier if anybody wanted me to tear that one apart. Doesn't look like we had any responses on that. That's okay. Some people don't want to see them torn apart, you know. I like tearing things apart just because you learn about it, right? Yeah, you can read a manual. You can read up on it. You can see what somebody else says about it. Okay, so now we can see it. It's retracting the filament, and you can see it didn't re-roll it, and it just kind of came loose down here, so that's not great. All right, so the print is done. Oh, that was a cute little beep. Oh, man, I wish the microphone picked that up. If it picked it up, let me know. Alrighty, so we have our first little mini spool done. Oh, that's stuck. That was nice. Still hot to the touch. And this did really well. So I had it set in the settings. I don't know if that'll zoom in. There we go. Focus. So you can see the Z seam on this, and you can see how it's contoured. So I kind of treat this as a little bit of a calculation type thing too. You know, but other than that, this turned out really well. Surface texture's nice. We have some internal stringing, but that's okay. That's kind of expected because I didn't dry this filament out, and with it being PLA wood, I really should have. But this turned out nice. Even the surface quality is really, really well. Yeah. Very happy with this printer. This printed out very nice. It's a shame that we couldn't get the PEBA printed on it. Hopefully I'll have an update on that, and we'll figure it out. So that is all that I have for today. Does anybody want to talk about anything? Anybody want to hang out? We can always just chat for a little bit. We have been at this for a good bit of time now. And I think we're okay. This is so final thoughts on this printer and the unboxing and assembly of it. This is a very easy machine to unbox and assemble. It's fairly intuitive if you've ever assembled a 3D printer. So like unscrewing all the screws, putting everything together, very well organized, very well built. This is actually a pretty hefty machine. Definitely want to call that out. This gantry is much better than the Kobra 3s. For a $299 budget machine, definitely like this one. This is nice. Alrighty. So I just want to thank everybody for coming. I do believe that we're going to go ahead and end the stream here now. And I hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon and a great Saturday. And if for our Australian folks, I hope you guys have a fantastic Sunday and Easter Sunday. And may everything go well. Now, again, always like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you want to see, what you don't, what I did wrong. Always happen to have some critique. But again, we're all adults, so have fun.